Alright, you kids get to bed. I get the storybook.
Alto Prison, Larry Hoover and Bill Feezzyy start a new gang. In the hushed corridors of the humongous Supermax prison called ADX in Florence, Colorado, a new chapter in the saga of former gang leader Larry Hoover unfolded. Atlanta, Georgia DA, Fannie Willis was currently working to recover her image after a small scandal involving a romantic conflict of interest that almost got her kicked off of the Trump case that she was obsessed with. Fannie recently pulled up an old cold case from 1995 where the Chicago, Illinois gang Gangster Disciple's founder, Larry Hoover, was implicated in an organized hit of a Georgia senator that was in the gang's pocket, but turned his back on them after Hoover gave impossible demands during the expansion of Gangster Disciple gang sets in the Atlanta area. Fannie had the now Christian man transferred from Florence Max to Alto Prison to face the old hit, not housing him in the Fulton County Jail due to his celebrity status and influence. The former, notorious gang leader found himself at a crossroads of destiny and redemption. Upon arrival at Alto State Prison, there was a mistake made by a super dark-skinned prison captain who was supposed to place Larry, the ex-gang leader, in SMU, or the Special Management Unit building, but he was too busy flirting with a new female prison CO whose booty demanded attention that he accidentally took Hoover to a general population cell block and placed him in a cell with her motivational YouTuber Bill Feezzyy, a fellow former gangster disciple sent to Alto for a probation violation stemming from traffic infractions he incurred in an Atlanta suburb. Larry Hoover was initially leery of his new cellie, mainly due to not having a roommate in over 27 years, but after getting to know C. Bill better, he saw an opportunity for change. After just their first week together, they devised a bold plan to reform the gang culture that once defined their lives, starting right there on Alto. Drawing inspiration from their shared Christian faith, Larry and Bill decide to form a new gang called GD, which was similar to their old gang Gangster Disciples, but stood for the words God's Disciples instead. Rejecting the violence and chaos of their past, they vowed to uphold principles of peace, community, and redemption, which Larry Hoover kind of attempted to do back in the 90s by spreading the word that GD now stood for growth and development instead of Gangster Disciples. Despite their positive intentions, things weren't going well with the current generation of Gangster Disciples at Alto, who heard all about the founder of their gang and were delighted to have him amongst their ranks, but didn't like how he and Feezzyy were using a name similar to their gang for their soft Christian group.
My boy Pac is back. You heard me too, Pac is back. In a book called The Continuance, support my homeboy's legacy. My nizzle deserves that. I don't even read books, but I damn sure read this thing got me out to the White House. I'll bring Martha and have her cook us some wings.
The Continuance is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other book retailers. Get your copy now and prepare yourself for President Tupac.
For several months, Hoover and Feezzy's vision for their GD gang continued to spark controversy within the prison walls. Active members of the Gangster Disciples gang, which Larry continued to denounce, began viewing his actions as betrayal, resenting their use of the gang's name and imagery for their new endeavor after a month of reluctantly accepting it. Undeterred by the backlash, Larry and Bill pressed forward, determined to carve out a new path for themselves and their fellow Christian inmates at Alto. They preached messages of hope and transformation, drawing followers from all walks of life who yearned for a chance at redemption. The Bloods and Crips gang sets at Alto began giggling and mocking God's Disciples, saying it was a fake-ass version of the Gangster Disciples, while some jokingly claimed God's Disciples were tougher and more savage than the Gangster Disciples. Hoover and Feezzy's newfound peace was shattered when the new generation of Gangster Disciples began plotting against their God's Disciples, preparing to launch a brutal attack on them, seeking to return respect for their gang's name within the prison. Thinking that they were about to be forced to defend themselves, Larry and Bill gathered up their small group of God-fearing men, all of whom had left the street life behind them, along with the violence that came with it.
I want to hear the goddamn remix. Damn remix. Damn remix. Damn remix. Damn remix. Damn remix.
Yo, where the ladies at? Valley, where the fuck is my Mercedes at? And yo, bro, who the fuck stole my Yankees hat? I'ma need that back. I have a fantasy to fuck a female rapper. I'll eat that booty even if she just came out the crab. But my dick is like a diamond, so I probably can trap her. But I don't wanna make Offset upset, so I'd rather have Coy Leray. I'll pick her up and take her back to my place and let her pretty ass sit on my face. I'm hitting Megan from the back and put it in her butt, and it was so nice and tight I shot myself in the foot. Pulled up to the Bobby mansion to knock down Nikki. After a few hours we were sweaty and crazy sticky. Then I fucked Glorilla like a gorilla, beating my chest, and then I beat her pussy into a mess. Scarlett got the dick too. Then I got the fuck out New York because she said that she would never report.
You heard the regular version, but now GK David releases the Big Poppa remix of his smash song Female Rapper Hit List. Out now on the YouTube channel GK David Music and gkdavid.com. Winter is almost here, so grab this heat to stay warm.
The Godly Gang really didn't want to go to war with the other GDs because they were serving Jesus Christ now, and the heart for savagery wasn't in their vibes, but they also weren't about to just lay down and let the gangsters slaughter them. That night, as Feezzyy led their weekly Bible study in a corner of the 96-man dormitory, all of the Gangster Disciples in the dorm rallied together on the top range and grabbed candy bars or shanks from their hiding spots before all going downstairs to attack the weak-ass gang that stole their name. God's disciples had small numbers at only 12 men, all of whom only possessed a Holy Bible as a weapon, while the Gangster Disciples outnumbered them by 29 men, with 23 candy bars and 6 locks in socks between them. Despite being 73 years old, Larry Hoover stood in front of Bill Feezzyy and his tiny gang of men as the GDs approached them. The leader was a man named Shitstarter, who was a 32-year-old, 6'1" solid-bodied, light-browned skin man from Athens, Georgia. He was old enough to still have the utmost respect for Larry Hoover, and knew, deep down inside, that if he laid a finger on him, he wouldn't live to tell about it once he got around older GDs. As Shitstarter hesitated to make the first move, one of the younger GDs violently shoved him out of the way and swung his candy bar at Hoover, who held his hands up to shield the blow. The 5'8" chubby, a bald-headed gangster whose name was Hot Boy, had spent 3 hours the day before, sharpening the shank's 13-inch blade, so when it made contact with Larry's fingers on his left hand, it severed the index and middle fingers off, causing fresh blood to squirt out of the amputated stumps like a scene from a movie. Shitstarter snapped out of the trance he was in and looked in horror at the damage done to his former chairman before taking his candy bar out of his waistband and shoving it into the neck of his soldier, silencing Hot Boy forever. This turn of events caused a chain reaction to where the Spirit of God moved in the room and caused the Gangster Disciples to start suddenly fighting amongst themselves as Hoover and his group retreated silently. In the aftermath of the bloody confrontation, Larry and Bill found themselves at a crossroads once again. Due to Hoover's injuries, he was implicated in the melee which caused the Georgia Department of Corrections to now label his God's Disciples as an official gang within the prison system. He and Feezzyy reckoned with the consequences of their actions and the price of redemption. As they stood on the precipice of uncertainty, Larry and Bill were faced with a choice to continue down the path of righteousness and possible destruction, as other Gangster Disciple sets might try the same move, or to embrace the true meaning of GD and strive for a better future, both inside and outside the prison walls. In the end, the fate of God's Disciples hangs in the balance, as Larry Hoover was eventually tried for the old assassination of the Atlanta senator, but found not guilty in court, which sent him back to ADX Florence to finish his original 6 life sentences. Bill Feezzyy became the sole leader of the Christian faction and recruited more and more dudes who left the gang life for more positive outlooks.